So we have a question from our studio audience here in the Free Thought Library. Just very excited to keep saying that. And so I wanted to ask you, people hear about professional DOMs, but are there professional subs? And if so, what does that world look like, and how dangerous might that be?
Yeah, there are professional subs. They are so great. I use them for filming because they're reliable. You pay them, they show up. On their end, it is dangerous, because there are a lot of people who believe that they're dominant, that they believe they know what they're doing, and they want to engage in, risky play, let's say, for example, breath play. And if the top doesn't know what they're doing, they're putting their sub at great danger.
Sure.
So it's hard because the script is flipped, whereas I'm the expert having fun with the newbie. They have to be the expert essentially who's watching out for, is this person actually knowing what they're doing? So their vetting, I find, is usually a bit more detailed, just to make sure that who they're playing with is safe and can take care of their body.
Yeah, I can only imagine. So can you tell us a little bit about what your clients look like? I mean, just broadly speaking, I guess, what is a typical client? Men, women, folks who are married or single, people who are members of the kink community, or just sort of like solo kinksters? What does that tend to look like?
Yeah, all over the place. I think the biggest demographic is older men, executives who are married. I love it that way. I love older clients. I find that they are the most respectful. But, I also have clients in their 30s who are single, just want to have fun. I personally have a 21 plus age limit. That's just for my sanity.
Sure, yeah.
But yeah, it's really all over the place.
Yeah, all walks of life. I mean, anybody could be a potential client.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. What would you say to folks who are thinking, well, I'm an anybody. Could I be a potential client? What would you maybe be looking for in a client? Is there any essential ingredient beyond, I don't know, a curiosity or an interest in sexuality?
No, it's just the basic modicum of respect.
Sure.
And just following protocol, so for me, for example, I have a website where they fill out an application. I take that application as their first impression. So did they actually look at my website? Are they requesting things that I specialize in? Or are they asking for things that I have listed as hard limits for some reason? So really on the client's end, it's a matter of finding someone who offers what you really enjoy and then reaching out to them per their protocol, because every dominant has a different protocol.
Yeah, I mean, are there, I don't want to say necessarily personality traits, but for somebody to feel comfortable, for somebody to be able to engage in this kind of practice, are there maybe warning signs or folks that you might say, you're not ready for this, or search your heart before you put yourself in that situation? I mean, any caveats?
Yeah, unfortunately, I do get that quite a bit. Some guys get really caught up in the fantasy and really excited, and sometimes they'll be like, I want you to dominate me. And I'm like, great, but what do you enjoy? What do you want to explore? There's so many kinks out there. What do you want to do? And they're like, I don't know, just do anything to me. And I'm like, that's not okay.
You're not quite ready for this.
I'm like, you need to know at the very least what you want to give a shot. I can't have you come in here blind and me just say, can I kick you in the balls? Do I have your consent to kick you in the balls? I would be incredibly bored, and it would be very unsexy to constantly be asking for consent to do this simply because they didn't know what they were looking for.
Yeah, you have to be informed enough to give that informed consent.
Yeah, exactly. Just know what you want to explore. That's it.
Well, for lack of a better term, what do you suppose your clients get out of their experiences with you? I mean, what's the takeaway beyond I guess pain and pleasure? What does that really amount to?
I hear peace a lot. Peace, and And yeah, just fun. A lot of them don't have an escape. They don't have a partner who they can play with. So they get the exploration. They get to feel like different sensations that they've been craving or curious about, and just fully diving into it as opposed to just thinking about it. Actually experiencing it is just absolute next level.
Sure. I mean, we've been talking about boundaries, but I know that there's a meaningful intimacy to a lot of these practices, or at least there certainly can be for a lot of folks. Do you know which of your clients are married or monogamous or some of those pieces? Do you involve yourself in sort of their sexual lives in that way?
I do not. If they open it up, they share that knowledge themselves. I never ask personal questions. I don't like to blur that line. I don't want to start being friendly with them. I don't want them to think that we're friends or that we'll hang out. So it's definitely a matter of, like you said, creating that boundary.
Yeah, well, fair enough. Do you then buy into sort of the broad stereotype that the types of folks are coming to you are, these men that have to be dominant in the boardroom and then want to be dominated in the bedroom, and kind of that general trope? Has that been your experience at all?
I've had one or two clients like that, some executives who have been like that, who are like, I just can't with all the meetings, they will even cancel meetings to come session with me because they just cannot handle it. But yeah, no, I've non-executives too. But as far as their careers, I don't ask. The only other person I can think of who shared, worked in music production. But other than that, I do not make an effort to pry into their personal life.
Yeah, so there's not a lot of small talk, getting to know you type stuff. It's kind of let's talk about what we're going to do, how we're going to do it safely, and then doing it, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. And also, as far as learning about me or what I like, it's in regards to the session, So how do I like my boots laced, etc. How do I like you to lay down while I sound you or something like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, so then we've talked a little bit about the safety component and some of these other pieces, but what would you say are the benefits of hiring a professional rather than, interacting with somebody from the kink community or playing with a romantic partner? What's the gap that you're maybe filling here?
I would say the lack of romance, actually creating that boundary. I know a lot of people in relationships who are okay with their partner seeing a professional because they know that there's going to be that hard line, that they are going to be able to have fun without it being considered, an infidelity of sorts.
Yeah.